Hello everyone, CoinHound here. Today we're going to take a look at the 1966 Batmobile 1-ounce silver coin from the island nation of Niue. And we'll also take a look at the iconic TV show as well. So as someone who is in their 50s, age-wise, I came of age during the 1970s as a kid when the Batman series was on TV regularly in the form of reruns. And it was one of my favorite TV shows. And I absolutely loved the Batmobile. In fact, there were two cars of my childhood that I just adored. One was the Batmobile from the 1960s Batman series, and the other one was the Mach 5 from the animated Speed Racer series, which was shown on reruns in the 1970s as well. And to this day, I still love both of those cars. In fact, I have several die-cast models of the Mach 5, and definitely at some point here in the future, we'll need to pick up at least one die-cast model of the Batmobile. But anyways, when we talk about the show, it was, as I noted, a TV series that originally ran in the 1960s. The main actors were Adam West as Batman and Burt Ward as Robin. It ran for 3 seasons, as you can see on the screen there, 1966 to 1968, for a total of 120 episodes. They also produced one standalone movie. Now, the show was known for its tongue-in-cheek approach. It was full of jokes and humor and puns, all kinds of camp-type stuff, if you want to define it that way. Even something like them running down the road here just had kind of a hokiness to it, but it was a lot of fun. Another running gag in the series was they frequently had Batman and Robin climbing up the sides of buildings with their bat rope, and inevitably a window would pop open and some celebrity making a guest appearance would pop their head out the window, and they would have some sort of humorous exchange with Batman and Robin. This pictured here on the screen is Sammy Davis Jr. Making that guest appearance. Now, of course, you had the main characters who were surrounding Batman and Robin. At Wayne Manor at home, you had the butler, Alfred, pictured there on the left, and then you had Aunt Harriet, who lived with Bruce Wayne, pictured on the right. And then, of course, you had their connections with law enforcement, the ever-serious Commissioner Gordon and Sergeant O'Hara, playing the stereotypical Irish cop with the Irish accent. And I guess to a certain extent, they played the straight men in what was often farcical plots. And then you had Batgirl, who I imagine captured the fancy of many a young boy as they were watching the show. But of course, perhaps the main attraction of the show was the assortment of criminals that Batman and Robin had to grapple with over time. There were 4 core criminals that made repeated appearances. Pictured on the screen here, you had Catwoman, who was portrayed by 3 different actresses. Julie Newmar, the first 2 seasons, and then Eartha Kitt in the 3rd season. Julie Newmar's pictured on the screen there. Lee Merriweather played Catwoman in the movie. You had the Riddler, who was played by Frank Gorshin, pictured there, as well as John Astin. You had the Penguin, played by Burgess Meredith, perhaps of later fame as playing the role of Mickey in the early Rocky movies, Rocky's trainer. And then you had Cesar Romero as the Joker, pictured on the right. But these were not the only bad guys in the show. In fact, it's been documented that there were 34 different criminal masterminds that appeared in the series, and oftentimes they were played by relatively well-known actors making guest appearances. Some of those who played criminals included Joan Collins and Milton Berle, and Vincent Price, and Shelley Winters, Roddy McDowall, Ethel Merman, Zsa Zsa Gabor, Eli Wallach, and a number of others. So that added an entertaining touch and aspect to the program as well. But of course, the focus of our topic today is the Batmobile. Pictured here, the 1966 Batmobile. Now, this Batmobile was a functioning automobile. It was built or created by a company run by George Barris, who did a number of customized vehicles for TV shows and movies throughout the years. And just in looking at the car, it had such kind of a unique appearance to it. Not totally out of the box. Cars with fins and things had been around during that time period. But it just had such a neat touch to it. The black with the red detail, the wheels with the little bats on them. It had the little exhaust pipe in the back that flames would come out of when they started the car. It was really neat. And the car itself was built onto a 1955 Lincoln Futura, a concept car. This was a car that was put together by the Ford Motor Company. It never went into production. It was just one of those cars put out as a concept. Some of those end up in production, some of them don't. But George Barris got his hands on one of these, and they basically customized it into the Batmobile. Now, the Batmobile proved to be very popular, so they actually ended up creating 3 copy vehicles based on 1967 Ford Galaxies, and those vehicles were used for doing shows around the country that the public would come to so they could get to check out the car. The car that was used in the series, the first car, the original one was made, that was the primary vehicle for the series. I think the 4th car, one of the copies, was used in an episode or 2, but generally it was the original car that was used in the series. This here I stumbled across, which I thought was kind of interesting. It's the design as submitted to the United States Patent Office, patented on October 18th, 1966. So that was pretty neat. And as far as I know, I think all 4 of the vehicles are still in existence. The original one, the Batmobile, if you want to call it that, sold at auction back in 2013. George Barris still had the rights to the vehicle, and he sold it at auction, and it went for $4.2 million. Now that we've looked at the TV show, let's take a look at the coin. So here's the packaging. Very nicely done with the Batman logo there, the reference to DC, the DC Comics. 1966 Batmobile 1-ounce silver coin. Of course, the 1966 is the reference to the year that the TV series started and the year that that Batmobile came into service. On the back side here, we have a pretty neat drawing of Batman there. Very nice. So I should note that this is being labeled or identified as the first release in the officially licensed Batmobile 1-ounce silver coin collection. So that's pretty interesting. I wonder what exactly that means. There were no further details given. Is this going to be a series of coins which portrays the various Batmobiles that were used, obviously beginning with this TV series, but then also in the various movies? I would assume that that's what they're referring to. I can't imagine it would be a series of coins based on this particular Batmobile. So that seems to have some potential to be pretty cool. So anyways, let's take a look at the coin. We have here the Certificate of Authenticity, 2021 1966 Batmobile, of course, 3/9 fine silver, 1 ounce. Limited edition of 2,000 pieces. And there's the coin. So it comes in this nice display case that you can stand on your desk or whatever. And there's the coin. So let me get you a nice close-up view of this. So there it is. As you note, in the background, it has an antiqued finish. It has Batman, his head there up at the top, and then, of course, the ever beautiful and fabulous 1966 Batmobile and the Batman logo at the bottom. The DC Comics trademark on the bottom right. The identifying information, 1 ounce, 3/9 fine silver there on the bottom left, and of course the label of the 1966 Batmobile. I must say that colored coins have been really growing on me. I've added a few of those to the collection recently. I wouldn't say it's the norm for me, but I do like the odd one. And then when we flip it over, okay, this flips differently than the U.S. coins. You have Elizabeth II on there, Her Majesty, the Queen. Niue, $2, 2021, and you'll note that this is an antique finish as well. And it's interesting, it has this little opening here. It's a capsule on the inside, so you can open up this display case and take out the capsule if you want. But very unique in the antiqued aspect of this. I do like that. It kind of adds a nice little touch to it as far as the appearance goes. And back we are to the coin. So there it is. Lovely. And I'll be very interested to see what the second coin in the series is. And whether or not a series of coins built around the Batmobile would be overly popular or not. I'm not really sure. Could be a real miss. Who knows? But as someone who's of an age where I grew up watching the Batman, the TV series, the Batmobile, as I mentioned, was just something that was one of my favorites. So when I saw this, I had to have it. All right. So there you have it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Till next time, this is CoinHound signing off.